one of the things I've learned in my life is how important communication is, and like, I don't think we can look back at the history of all mankind and see a problem that happened and say they communicated too well and it caused that problem, right? It's always a breakdown in communication. And, the Vandy fan base is as loyal and hungry as any fan base out there. So what is something like, again, and they're looking to you for and for communication, like what's going on, you're giving them hope and every ounce. A lot rides on this for them. What's a part of the culture that maybe the fans overlook that you guys are really investing in for a big return that maybe matters most to you guys?
Well, we've maintained this kind of focus on holistic development here, and even as the original blueprint we had for what this build was going to look like, we've had to throw it out. I mean, we've had to really reimagine what building a program looks like in 2025 now, and that's NIL, that's transfer portal. There's a lot of fear in those two elements, and for me, it was not my instinct to be the first in on those. I think we've navigated that relatively well, but this is still about the individual in our program. It's still about the care for the whole person. One of our core beliefs is that better people make a better team, and that means in our game, which is the ultimate team game, you got 11 guys that need to be on the same page every snap, and you might have a star receiver or a star running back or a star quarterback or a star corner or a star defensive end, but teams will find ways to neutralize your best players. Mm-hmm. So it's really the strength of the unit that needs to shine through. And where do you, for us, kind of our values, discipline, respect, and spirit, how many reps can we get at those three things every single day? Mm-hmm. Trying to get our team to understand that how you do anything is how you do everything. And so we don't compromise on those things. We're accountable. We have a team that's responsible for the image of this program on our campus, in our community, and certainly in our building. So that part of it I'm most proud of, because it's to this point, the investment that we've made in the person and in developing these values within them has paid dividends for us in the team that we have now. And what I think sets our team apart isn't necessarily our physical talent. We're good enough. We're good enough to win every game we play. Now, the team knows this. This isn't something that I tell you and tell them something different. We won't be the most talented team that lines up this year. That's okay. We're not worried about it. In fact, we kind of like that. We're a group of misfits is how we see it. But we're good enough to win every game, but it's relatedness that's our edge. It's our connection. It's our purpose. It's our sense of mission. It's our willingness to suffer, struggle, and sacrifice together and for one another. That's kind of what sets us apart. And so you ask about what the fan might not understand about what we've done here. All those things that I'm talking about, you have to be very intentional about bringing them in. It's not innate in human nature to look for opportunities to struggle or to suffer or to sacrifice. And in 2025 college football, that is like so against what you see the world becoming. And
well, yeah,
I'm really proud of the way the team's like held on to that identity. We're imperfect. We have our moments too, but this group cares about each other, cares about the mission, cares about the program, and I believe the fan base will see that come through, not in in the results, but in the way we compete.
All right, so having a little bit of fun. Is there anything in the locker room, a player, a situation, or anything that's kind of flying under the radar that you guys are really excited to see break out?
Well, I think this time of year is like, for a coach, is like Christmas, because you've put in now 6 months of work where you have every player, like you're anxious to see all that work. And once we get out on Wednesday for our first practice, what's it going to look like? Mm-hmm. It feels really good to know who our quarterback is. That is a really cool thing. And with Diego, I think for our community, to appreciate the fact that we get to watch him line up and play in black and gold again. I mean, that is a really neat thing. Don't miss on the opportunity to see a guy that really has, I think the game of college football has benefited from his, ascent here. But there's so many guys in that locker room that in the time frame that we have with them, this 18 to, now it's 18 to like 24. But every month is like a decade in terms of the progress they can realize. And so, we've had 6 months now to work with these guys, and we're sitting on the brink of the starting point. And, there will be some that, I like Junior Sherrill's the guy that comes to the front of mind, and I'm like, this guy is going to have a breakout year. He's had really good snaps for us, but I just feel like it's his time. Martell Height, and those two guys came in in the same year. This will be their third year in our program. Those two are really special to me from a standpoint of guys that kind of were with us at some of our lowest moments and have maintained through. But then there are going to be guys that, we're not even necessarily thinking about right now that'll come through in fall camp, earn time, and as the season goes, will prove to be the difference for us. So the cool thing about our program right now is we have depth. We have competitive depth, and we have a lot of playable people. A challenge for our coaches now is how are we going to get the people on the field that can help us win? And it's not like baseball where you're going to have your 9 best out there pretty much every day. We're going to play multiple people throughout the course of a game, and how those snaps split, that'll be the next month for us trying to figure out where that lands.
So let's talk a little bit about the SEC gauntlet, I'm going to call it, right? So the Southeastern Conference is just different. Okay, so if you're a fan of the SEC, I think you just get it. If you're not, I don't know if you necessarily get it. It's different. They talk about it a lot on College Game Day, which I love. What's something people outside the SEC still don't understand about what it takes to compete in this conference?
Yeah, there's just there's never an easy weekend. I mean, it's just you're battling always. Obviously, I think in any sport, the competition starts with you. So, not only are you dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds that you're trying to get aligned and on the same page, right? Yeah. In a context for our game that has really made that challenging. You're going to be, competing against the game, which the ball bounces in funny ways at times. You got to keep your mind and not give into emotion, but. The teams in this league from top to bottom, I mean, the talent, the size, I think the size of our conference, just the O-line and D-line, the physicality of those groups, it's unlike anything. I know I've been a part of pretty much every other conference with some games against Big Ten opponents. I've never coached in that league, but it's just, it's incredible to me how dominant our league is at the line of scrimmage. And so that is, the teams top to bottom. And again, of course, we've represented the bottom of our league for too long, and we're looking to strengthen to find ourselves in the middle and then towards the top. But there's never an easy out. There's never a game where you can go in and say, take it for granted. Yeah. But I think beyond that, kind of the fourth thing you're competing against is the environments. And I mean, it's amazing to me, whether you're playing at Kentucky or at South Carolina or at Auburn or at Tennessee. I mean, the environments are unlike anything else in college football. The fan base is so passionate, and it's not just they love football. It's like these programs become intertwined in the fabric of community. So there's a sense of family and there's a sense of purpose. And the fan base feels like they're a part of it. And they are. I mean, they have an impact in the game. And so when you add all those factors in, the challenges of just having a college football team pointed in one direction, but the teams top to bottom of the league, the skill in the league, the size in the league, and the environments for the game, I don't think there's anything like it in sports. I mean, it's really special.
When you think about it, you're when you're doing something which is equivalent to the highest level, I mean, most of the stadiums you guys play in seat more than NFL stadiums do, right? Which has kind of always been weird to me, because playing minor league baseball, you went from 5 and 10,000 seat stadiums to 30 and 40 if you made it to the bigs, versus you guys, you go from playing in front of 100,000 to playing in front of 60,000 at the NFL, which is crazy to me. But it's so fascinating because as a businessman, you're always building something long-term, there's a long play, a big return on investment. But like if you got stockholders or equity partners or rev share partners, whatever else, you got to profit this year. And that sounds a lot like what you're doing. You're building something that can last a really long time, but you got to get almost instant results.
Yeah. And that's, we've gone away from this idea that you build a program over 4 and 5 years. You really have a team each year, and you're trying to do the best you can to position that team to be successful.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is year 5 for me. So I feel like I've already been here for an eternity. I mean, Nick, it's gotten to the point where it's almost like I can't remember what it was like to coach anywhere else. It feels like I've been here my entire career. And part of that is probably because I played here, but
sure. And
because our physical spaces haven't changed enough yet. We got to get this facility knocked down and built up. But, I think ultimately for us, it's like, we understand the urgency. The urgency actually, the pressure for us is internal. I want to do it for these guys that some of whom now have been here 4 or 5 years, with me. Only a handful were a part of the group that I inherited when I got here, a recruiting class. And we have one player on our team that will be in his 6th year that was here before I got here. So you've got a group that has bought into a vision for what success is going to look like. And we're not trying to, punt our goals for the next 3 years. It's like, we got to do this now.
That's right.
Diego Pavia has 1 year remaining, unless there's another lawsuit that could possibly come up. And I don't think there is. This is it. So he this is a legacy year for him. He wants to leave his mark on this program, and so we want to win now. We attack that by focusing on our process and not skipping steps. We're not entitled to results, and we know we have to play a certain way. So the challenge of alignment on what our identity is, what our strategy is, how we execute that, how we care about one another, those are the things that ultimately will lead to the results that we're after on Saturdays. That's where we got to put our focus.
Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe for more, and visit nickhyder.com.